What is up guys, it's Syrum and welcome back to my channel. Today marks a very special episode of the player face scan requests because I just recently surpassed 5,000 subscribers. In celebration of the milestone, today I'm bringing you not 10, not 20, not 30, but 21 player face scans. Sorry if I got your hopes up there. It took an enormous amount of effort to get this done for you guys, but since you have all been so supportive and motivating, it was something I felt you all deserved. So sit back, relax, maybe get some popcorn and some Coke, or Diet Coke if that's your thing, because we have a lot to get through. First up, we have a highly requested one in Carlton's Mr. Courage, Sam Doherty. Doherty's face looks about right and seems to do him enough justice, however his hair colour is a little lighter than I remember it being. The texture files actually have a darker hair colour for him, so I'm not exactly sure why it's being displayed as lighter, but regardless it still looks pretty promising and I think they'll fix the colour before the release of the game. That brings us on to the next face scan and we have Collingwood's Steel Sidebottom. Sidebottom is sporting his trendy hairstyle and some groomed facial hair, giving him a good resemblance to the actual player. Really think they've done a good job with Sidebottom here and don't have any complaints for this one at all. Now moving on, and I can't quite remember who's next. Any ideas, Bruce?
It's a Grundy! It's Grundy!
So we have Brodie Grundy from the Collingwood Football Club, and he too looks very good. Donning his facial hair and his signature bun, Grundy's likeness to the actual player is one I think all of us can appreciate. Grundy was a highly requested one in previous episodes, and I really like this one. Think he's a gun big man, so it's really good to see his face scan done well. But that's enough of Grundy, and now we are moving on to the Essendon Bombers' Michael Hurley. Hurley would have had all Bomber fans chewing at their nails over being one of the last players of the banned bunch to re-sign with their beloved club, but Hurley looks very impressive with his hair and facial hair captured well. His facial structure matches the actual players, and it is all in all a prime example of how to do a face scan. But that behind, and we are now moving on to the next face scan in Fremantle's ex-skipper and the recently retired Matthew Pavlich. Pav's likeness is obviously a really good one, there are no questions about who this is meant to be at all. From the upright hair down to the ears and prominent nose, everything about this face scan screams Matthew Pavlich, and I'm glad to see the legend done justice. I know I haven't done many of the Fremantle boys, but that's the reason I've chosen to include a second Fremantle player today, and that is none other than Aaron Sandilands. Big as a Sandy Sandilands looks like an absolute titan of a man in the game, and I think that does him a lot of justice. The attention to detail in Sandilands' head scan from his ears down to his rounded eyes is very impressive, and it's just another example of how well the face scans are coming along. Really like this one though, and it's good to see him captured so well in game form. Now moving on, and we have the Geelong Football Club's Mitch Duncan. It was a toss-up between Duncan and Harry Taylor for this episode, with Duncan slightly winning out. Don't fear though, Taylor will likely feature in the next episode. A really good likeness for Duncan there in my opinion, but I'll let you all be the judge of that one for yourselves. A really good likeness for Duncan though, and I'm really happy with how it turned out regardless. Now on to the next face scan, and we have Gold Coast's Tom Lynch. Lynch looks pretty similar to the actual player also, with so many good likenesses in this game it's really gotten me excited to play it. The detail in Lynch's scan is also on par with his long face and pimples, adding to the overall depiction of the player. Let me know what you think about this one too, it's been really interesting to read some of your comments. But now moving on, and we have the young gun who found himself in some hot water in recent seasons in Greater Western Sydney's Toby Green. Green looks really good. It's a significantly better head scan than some of the others in the game, and it's one I include among my favourites. I was originally doing Callan Ward for the Giants, but however his head scan seems to crash the game for some unknown reason. I hope I do figure a way to fix that soon, but hope you all enjoyed Toby Green in the meantime. Next up, and we have Hawthorn's speedster and the man who came within a kick of sending Hawthorn to a 6th straight prelim in their pursuit of the 4-peat, and that's Isaac Smith. Smithy has the brute-like appearance that is so similar to his image in real life, with more facial hair being the only notable omission. Really am happy with the way Smith looks in the game though, and as I've been saying, all the Hawthorn boys have been afforded very good head scans, so no problems with that one at all. Next we have Big Bad Bernie Vince from the Melbourne Football Club. One of the more underrated players, I believe Vince is an absolute gun, and I'm actually really excited to see his in-game stats. His face scan does do him justice though, so the only hope I have with this one is that his stats do him justice too. Really am fond of the likeness, and I hope you all are as well. Moving on, and now we have the North Melbourne Footy Club's Shaun Higgins. Higgins has his trendy hairstyle and chiseled facial structure on display, and everything about this head scan is done to perfection. Really do like how all the head scans are coming along, particularly this one as well. Good likeness to Higgins, and I'm interested in hearing your thoughts on it too. I will get some more North Melbourne boys out to you. I know I haven't done a lot, but we'll see some in the future episodes. Next up, and we have the long-time captain of the Port Adelaide Footy Club in Travis Boak. Boak has the rough exterior that he has become so synonymous with, sporting a beard and messy hair. I think this depicts Boak really well, as he really gives off that rough captain vibe that he's adopted over the years. No complaints about Boak's scan either, and I think you will all definitely agree with that one. Now, putting Boak aside, we're moving on to one of the spearheads down at the Richmond Footy Club, none other than Jack Riewoldt. Riewoldt has his well-kempt hair, freckles and pigmented skin, which just helps bring the entire character model together. It really is surprising how in-depth some of the player models go, and if they are anything to go by, I think the game should be very detailed also. Like the way Riewoldt looks, and there's little to complain about there. Now we have our second Richmond player of the video in Nick Vlastone. Vlastone has his trimmed hair and beard along with his pigmented skin, which really adds to the overall character model. Vlastone is an absolute gun and probably will be someone I try and land in career mode. Really think he's been done well and would rank this scan among my favourites for sure. Now, while that may be all for the Richmond Footy Club, we are now moving on to the St Kilda youngster in Jack Billings. At just 21 years of age, he has become a core part of the Saints team and definitely one to watch for the future. I'm 21 as well, and the discrepancies in our lives show me that I really need to start getting it together. A really good young gun, a good likeness, and I'm glad to see the scans aren't just limited to more seasoned AFL players. Moving on though, and we have the Sydney Swans high-profile midfielder in Josh Kennedy. Kennedy shares a good likeness with the appearance the player has sported in recent seasons, with his hair resembling his hairstyle of old. His face is a great likeness to Kennedy though, so absolutely no problems with the way that he's depicted, and think he's an absolute gun of a player with the face scan to match. A very good one again. Moving on, and now we have Josh Kennedy. That's right, yes again, but this time from the West Coast Eagles Football Club. Kennedy is donning the trimmed hair and the scruffy beard, which is a striking resemblance to the man who has won back-to-back Coleman medals and will be pushing for the three-peat. Hashtag who did it better, Hawthorn or Kennedy. It's a really good likeness to Kennedy. I don't really have any complaints about this one. His beard's captured well, his hair is captured well, and he's definitely a player that I'm going to try and get into career mode. Next up, we have Lukey Dalhouse from the Western Bulldogs Football Club. Dalhouse has a very square face and has that blocked chin that he has become so widely known for. He looks really good. I don't have any issues with the head scan on this one. I think his likeness is right up there with the best of them. His head might be a little bit too wide, but he is the blocked chin like I said, so that isn't too much of a problem. Next up, and we have the Western Bulldogs gun recruit in Travis Cloke, although if we took it back a year ago, I don't think anyone would call him a gun recruit. Travis Cloke has seemed to find some inspired form at the Western Bulldogs, and his head scan is one of the better ones. I really like the way that Cloke looks here. He really does look kind of old though, and that would be my only criticism. Last but not least, we have our AFLW bonus player in the Melbourne Footy Club's Daisy Pearce. Pearce shares an impressive likeness facially to the real player and has her hair up in her signature bun. No problems with the way this one looks at all. I was originally going to do Erin Phillips, however, to my surprise, she isn't in the game files. Still, I hope you enjoyed this one instead. That does bring us to the end of the 20-player episode. I'd like to reiterate my appreciation for your resounding support on this series. If you enjoyed the episode, please give it a massive thumbs up and be sure to subscribe if you haven't already. I put up new Facescan videos every day, so if that's something you'd like to see, make sure you check back tomorrow for episode 6. Thank you all again for helping me reach 5,000 subscribers. I never would have thought I'd make it to 1,000, let alone 5,000 of you lunatics. As always, be sure to leave your suggestions for future episodes in the comments section below and like the comments of the players you'd like to see. Thanks again for watching, guys. I hope you enjoy the rest of your day, and I will see you later.